In these days of widespread home and hybrid working across huge swathes of business, video conferencing has surely come of age. With the likes of Computer World compiling lists of 12 Zoom alternatives for secure video collaboration, there's certainly plenty to choose from. But what do we mean by secure video collaboration? What isn't secure about Zoom, Teams or WebEx? And what extra does a secure video conferencing solution bring? Here we chat to David Jones, our Senior Pre-Sales Engineer, to explain more. So Dave, first of all, what is the difference between video collaboration and video conferencing?
Well, video conferencing has been around for quite a while. I think most people are familiar with it in various forms, but at its simplest, video conferencing is where people who are in different locations, that could be in different levels of a building or in different physical locations, come together remotely through teleconferencing in having a video and audio. So everyone can see each other, can hear each other. And so they can basically have a basic conference as if they were all in the room together, but in a kind of limited way. So it's something where you can hear me, you can see me, and that's really quite basic. It's like having a face-to-face meeting, but without all the additional interactivity. So you can see people's facial sort of reflections on the questions and responses, but you can't do any much more interaction on that. Whereas video collaboration really is the next generation on from that, where it's allowing you a much richer experience. So it gives you the ability to not just see and hear people, but to do things like desktop sharing, application sharing, being able to message one another, either as a group or individually, and to be able to do the whole sharing. So you could then maybe do your PowerPoint presentation, you could share part of that for your desktop. So much more like you would in a room where you're all together, you can use all the different facilities you have at hand to share things. So that's really what we see video collaboration. So it's more, the emphasis is on the collaboration. So it's people interacting on an equal basis. So it's not one person holding the meeting and just sort of delivering. It's people working as a team to deliver an experience to people. So that's really where people are going now. People are getting used to that. So that's where we're looking at that direction.
Okay, so what do we mean by secure video conferencing or secure video collaboration? Isn't end-to-end encryption enough?
Well, end-to-end encryption is important. It's something that we need to secure all of the audio and video and text going between the users. But really, the other thing to concentrate on is how we do the groundwork before we get to that point. So really how we authenticate users and how we allow users to join into a conference, a collaboration of users. So the key thing there is to make sure that every user must sort of formally log on to the system with their own unique username and password at their minimum, and be able to manage that sort of life cycle of users. So we can add users to the system, remove them, and also be able to monitor them to see on each conference who is on there, and just have a general overview of what's in there. So the security is around authentication of users as well as the encryption. So we've got that life cycle in there to make sure that we can control all aspects of the system. So that's one of the key things that don't grab the headlines at first, but you need to consider about who is able to join this call. Would I be concerned if someone unauthorized was able to join a call? Because I could be talking about commercially sensitive stuff. That's certainly in the government areas that's very sensitive. And so that's really where security comes in, where maybe the market for commercial products hasn't necessarily addressed that as quickly as people would like. Okay,
thank you. And what could happen if you use a less secure conferencing app? What's Zoom bombing, for instance?
Well, Zoom bombing was one of the classic ones whereby the invitations were set up such that they could be freely shared. And the whole ethos behind that seemed to be to get momentum, to get people to use the product by making it easy. But the problem was it was a bit too easy, because you could send an invitation out to someone and they could forward it on to a friend, or to someone who really shouldn't be on it. So what would happen then is that you'll be having a work meeting, and then someone would join in the meeting either surreptitiously to listen in or be disruptive by doing something you really didn't want to do. And then that's a real risk because you're talking about a company details on a project you don't want that shared with anyone else. So Zoom bombing is unauthorized people joining the conference and listening in and being disruptive at worst case.
Mm. Okay. So what do you get if you use a properly secure solution like Armour Unity?
Well, a properly secure solution is one that's really designed from the ground up to take into account all the factors of security. So while the requirements of secure collaboration around kind of the productivity, to be able to have high quality video, high quality audio, having all the things like being able to text and screen share, you need to make sure that's done in a secure way, and that's not easy to do. So Unity has been designed from day one to have security at its core, so that all of that useful, sensitive commercial information is actually encrypted as it's sent back and forth. And it's encrypted in a high quality way using high quality keys. But equally, the way users are brought into the system and logged on is designed in from day one to be secure, that we can see who they are, we can stop them joining, we can remove them from the system, but we have full control. And the key thing is that when you design it in from day one, it's more secure, it's more seamless, and it's more reliable. And in some ways, it's an analogy to having a house, building a house, moving your furniture in, decorating, and then trying to put your central heating in. It's very disruptive. It will eventually work, but it may not be very efficient, and it may be a bit ugly. And it really is much easier to start on day one with doing it in one go. So it's that kind of putting the security into the heart of the system.
Okay, so how is Unity different to any other solutions that are currently on the market?
Well, the key difference is that Unity uses the NCSC-defined Mikisaki protocol, which is designed specifically for the type of use we have here. It's designed for enterprise and government uses. It is designed for cross-platform multimedia communications, so that is video, audio, and text. It's highly scalable, and it needs no prior setup before use, and that's one of the key differences. It's identity-based encryption, so whereas systems more traditionally use a PKI where you need keys and certificates set up, identity-based encryption doesn't require you to do that. So it's very flexible, and it allows you then to easily set up a configuration and securely communicate to all users with a minimal fuss. And it's designed to be very efficient, so when you're using a lot of comms, you want to make sure the encryption is not going to add additional bandwidth or slow you down and require special technologies. It's designed to be centrally managed as well, so all the keys can be managed centrally to add and remove users through the life cycle. And it's highly available, so it's very reliable. So that's one of the key differentiators, is using a type of security specifically for this kind of environment.
Okay, thank you very much for that.
Thank you.